what was your reaction when it first came out of the box? What happened?
I was expecting a sharper, more focused image, something with a higher level of contrast, stronger blacks, stronger whites. I thought, oh, it's a little weak. I expected something sharper.
I think that it's a beautiful cover, and I love it the way it is, because what it tells me, the way it looks now, is this is history. I think if it was crisper, it wouldn't lend to that historical sort of angle of the book. So.
Well, so my view is the right view, right?
I took it home immediately and showed it to my husband. The first thing he said about the book was, this is the best cover I've ever seen and that you guys have ever done.
And the women thought it was a fantastic cover, but the men were thinking that maybe we should go back and we should reprint the cover. The women thought that the image itself lended to more of a historical sort of overtone, and the men thought that the image itself should be a little bit crisper.
The back is beautiful, you know. The back is lovely. I really like this. I'm not so keen on the blue, but...
I'm really excited about it. I love the blue. All of my favorite photos got onto the book.
Nice book, though. Feels good.
Oh, I thought the cover was going to be slightly different. And then I talked to the team here, and all of the women said, I love the cover. And I thought, well, it's got a woman on the cover, and it's probably the audience for the book is a woman. So if the women in the office love the cover, I love the cover too. And but I also thought it would be useful, because we've had so much discussion about the cover, the making of the cover, the making of the book, that we would actually have something called lessons learned. Because I think there are a few lessons that we have learned from putting this cover together. And so I thought that Donna and I, the managing editor, who's really, this is her book, she's worked many, many, many hours on it and turned it into this gorgeous production. We could have a bit of a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your response when you saw the cover?
Well, I really liked it. I did, and like the other women, I guess,
yeah.
As I found out. No, I immediately liked it, and I like the softness of it, but still the strength that comes through basically in Florence's eyes.
Right.
Is really where it comes through.
Also, when Duncan was designing the cover, and there was the blue, I said, Duncan, it's the red scare, not the blue scare. Maybe we should be using red on the cover as opposed to blue. And we tried it, and you know what? It didn't work. It didn't look proper. It didn't look right. And so what we decided to do was actually do the case in red. And I think it looks pretty good, although this is a bit gummy red as opposed to communist red. You know, communist red has a bit more burgundy in it, I think, than perhaps this does. But on the other hand, it ain't bad. The typo in the back.
The typo in the back.
You know what? A million eyes can look at something and you can still miss it. And it comes down to me, so this is my typo on the back. But anything, what did we want to...
Well, I mean, it's one of the brutal realities of publishing,
Yeah.
right? Is that things slip through, and it's sort of the horror of the editor to find the typo on the back, or anywhere in the book, actually.
Yeah.
And it's why we put into place processes, so that we try to minimize that happening. We're all human, every one of us, so things get missed, mistakes are made, and the processes help to minimize the number of those that happen. And I think what happened with this is that we missed one of the processes, and that's one of the factors that in the typo being there. But that's what happens. We're under pressure. We're rushed sometimes, and it's about pulling back and making sure that the processes happen. And that happens throughout the book. That's not just about the covers. We have I have many lists when it comes to checking books. Many lists. One time through looking at the running heads, one time through checking the table of contents against the pages, and one time through for any number of things depending on the book. Because if you try to read it and check everything at once, you're going to get distracted and you're going to miss things. So that's the discipline of the editor. That's our job. is not to be perfect, but to put the process into place and have the discipline of following them so that we get as good a product at the end as possible.
I'm not going to tell you what the typo is. What I want you to do is look at the jacket yourself, and you tell me the typo. Email me bruce.walsh@uofregina.ca. I don't even know my email address, uofregina.ca, and tell me what the typo is. The first person who does that will send you a free copy of the book. So if we go back to press with this title in cloth, of course we'll fix the typo on the jacket, and any other typos that appear in the text, which inevitably happens. You don't get everything, but when people start to read the book, they inevitably email us and tell us, oh, there was a typo here, there was a typo there, and when we go back to press, we'll fix those typos, and when we bring it out in paper, absolutely, those typos will be fixed. So that's really how we solve the typo problem. I have to say, in 25 years of publishing, I've worked on a number of books with typos on the cover. One had a typo in the actual title. And what does that mean? It meant that we had to trash the jacket and go back and redo it again. Another had a typo in the author's name. And what did that mean? We had to trash the jacket and go back and do it again. Because this is in neither the title nor the author's name, we're not going to trash the jacket and go back again. We're going to leave it there. But we thought it was important that we actually acknowledge that, one, people have different responses to the book. In our office, it seemed to be a gender divide, although I've been convinced by the women in the office that the women are usually right about these things. And that, you know, typos happen and they're painful when we discover them, but it's a part of publishing and lessons learned. Thank you.